The Tallboy Experience.
Scoop Jackson here in the ATL. Do you want this experience? I mean, this experience? Trust me on this. Tallboy gonna give it to you. No doubt.
If you want the exclusive, you want the Tallboy, because he's gonna bring you the exclusive.
'94. They started Slam '94. I came on 2 issues deep. Tony Gervino and I came in 2 issues deep, but that was like 1994, early '95. What I could tell you in the full answer to your question is that I believe in tangibility, and ideas are great, but in this game, tangibility carries more weight than ideas do. So, doing a project like Slam Magazine, and even starting like when we started XXL, the same thing applies. And that was like in '98. But the same thing applies in that, hey man, we're starting this magazine, we're doing this, hey, we're doing this project, or we're starting, that's all good. But until people see it, are able to put their hands on it, put their eyes on it, wrap their arms around it, it's just an idea that carries minimal weight. What I could tell you is that having Slam Magazine, once we started it, people seeing it, understanding what it was about, the relationship with the players changed because of that. Because whenever you put out content, you get to show people either the subjects that you're studying or the people that are, consuming your product. You get to show them what you're about, what you stand for, what you represent. And over the years, I can say that the content we've been able to put out has slowly changed all relationships we have with subject matters, including players, and built relationships with them, because over the years we've been able to show them what we are about. I've been able to show them what I am about. So in the beginning, like Shaq is a great person to talk about in that. When we first did Slam Magazine, Tony and I came in there and we wanted to do a cover story on Shaq. He was with Orlando, and he was the big deal. And he was in Chicago because he was playing on that quote unquote dream team too. And I was in Chicago. And he said, see if you can get Shaq. Met Shaq, talked to him, said, yeah, man, cool, we'll sit down, do the interview. And he basically kind of played me. Never got at me, left Chicago, didn't give us the interview. I had to chase him down for like a month or whatever, or 6 weeks, I forgot, and finally got him. And he did the interview over the phone while his manager held the phone to his ear while he was at either a shoe signing or some type of meet and greet at a Foot Locker in Los Angeles. And treated it like, whatever, I said I'd do this. Played it that way. Months later, the issue came out, but whatever. But months after the issue came out, and Orlando was in the finals that year playing Houston, I was at game 1 of the series, and before the game started, when they came out to do shoot around, like maybe an hour and a half before the game or whatever, Shaq saw me, came on the court, ran across the court, and straight up apologized. He was like, dog, I ain't even recognize what y'all were doing. That magazine is dope. The interview was dope. Oh, man, y'all, I'm sorry for playing you like that. Basically, you know what I'm saying? He apologized because he didn't know. I mean, we're just new on the scene. Hey, man, Slam Magazine, whatever, But once people see it, and that's what I'm talking about, tangibility, once they see it and see what you're about, see what you're trying to do, it changes everything. So to answer your question, what have I learned, what has happened over the years is that's it. The content we've been able to put out and I've been able to put out has given players and other individuals a chance to see what I'm about, and that alone changes the relationship, of me or whoever I'm working with or whatever project we're on, or that changes everything. So that and over the last, we're talking about maybe 25 years now, over the last 25, 30 years, I've been able to have the content that I put out speak for me and let athletes and other individuals know, let the business know what I stand for, what I'm about, and how I treat the content I put out. Regardless of whether you agree with my ideologies or, what I, bring to the game. It's, is my writing respected? Am I giving something to the craft? Am I trying to help the craft grow? Am I trying to advance the craft? And it takes years for people to understand and see that takes many articles, many stories, many interviews. It takes all of this stuff to happen over a period of time for the people to respect, whether they like it or not, but respect what you're bringing to the craft. And that changes your relationship with people too. Because once again, they may not agree with what you do, what you say, how you present yourself. But if they feel you're good at what you do, if they feel that you're giving your all to what you do, if they feel that you're trying to advance the craft, then at least respect comes to the table. And when people respect you, that changes the nature of the relationship for somebody not knowing you at all, from you stepping into a relationship that, hey, I respect what you do. I had a brother the other day, who's an actor, basically just tell me, because you never know who's watching you and paying attention to what you do. Came to me just yesterday. It was like, man, I respect your consciousness. That's it. Gave me a pound, gave me some dab, gave me love, said, man, I respect your consciousness, man. And I'm like, yo, that's love. Now, in the beginning, people don't know what your conscience is. they don't know what you're bringing to the table. But over the years, you stay consistent with that. People have a chance to absorb that and embrace it, and then give it right back to you. And that within itself changes the whole landscape and the foundation of whatever relationship you have with people that you're studying and people you're interviewing and talking to. You know what? The one thing I love about them is that, they gave us early on, before this thing really became a brand within itself, a chance to spend time with them. And not only, do I respect that, but I also want to give credit to ESPN for also not treating them like a sideshow or treating Lavar like a character. In that, look, we want to get to know this individual, get to know this family, so let's see if we can spend some time with them outside of just getting them on a show and spending 8 minutes or 20 minutes. Let's spend a couple of days with them. And it's like I was saying earlier, the more time you spend with somebody, the more you get to learn about them, see what they're about. It changes the nature of your relationship with them. In the ball situation, we got to spend actually 3 full days with them, which is a lot of time. And if you know anything about Lavar, you give Lavar 3 days, he's going to give you a lot. Lavar's going to give you a lot. So I told Lavar, straight off the bat, I said, you like damn near every member of my family, you just light skinned. He's just that brother. He's a brother from South Central.
Do you think society is intimidated by him?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think society has not seen an unscripted guy like this in their face, that comfortable and that unapologetic about what he does and who he is in a long time. And when you play this game, when you play a game through the media, where that's how society gets to learn who you are, you're going to have to take the love with the hate, because both are going to come at you very strong, especially if you're comfortable in the skin that you're in. And, just as many, probably more people, because like it's done through the media, draw a line on how they feel about someone like Lavar. And that line is not blurred. It's very, very clear. But what is blurred is what I tend to look at is the bigger picture in the deal. And regardless of how society may generally feel about somebody like Lavar, the fact that you have a brother that is dedicated to his kids to the degree that he is, and to his family, to his wife as well. and his extended family, his brothers and sisters, his mother-in-law and father-in-law, his mother and father, And when you spend time, you see how important that is, and that's basically, the foundation of who he is. All this other stuff is just Lavar being Lavar, but when you get to the core of who that dude is and what his kids mean to him, the time he spends with them, his investment he's put into his kids for their benefit, not necessarily his. Of course, he's taking advantage of the spotlight, but this is all for them. He's setting this whole thing up to give his kids a foundation that is strong, that's not going to crumble, which you wish more black fathers would do. So when you step back and look at that piece, outside of looking at, Lavar and, the character that people look at him at, when you step back and look at that piece, you gain a different appreciation for him. So, being in this game and not seeing that very often, seeing the role of black fathers be what it's being considered to be, where we're absent, where we're not there, where we're apathetic, where we don't have a role in our families and our kids' lives, especially when you talk about professional athletes. When you see the other side of that, when you do see a father who is invested in his kids, the way that Lavar is with his and the way he's intact with his family and how everything revolves in his life around that, and that's all that matters to him, it's great. I see it in my everyday life. And we as black folks see it in our everyday lives. That's not what gets reported all the time. Because it's always, that's it. It's always the negative or the downside or the dark side of black life that always hits the front page first. When we talked, I said, man, you have to be a compliance officer's worst nightmare, because they don't know what to do to you because you do everything. You don't break the law, but you skate around the rules in a way that makes them shake, but I don't think his kids are going to be in school long enough to make that happen. He's always said, and Zoe proved that, one and done. We're going to see what happens, with LeAngelo this time around. If he plays well enough, UCLA is going to have a hell of a squad this year. So let's see if he does a one and done deal, and by the time Melo gets into school, let's see if he does a one and done deal. But the fact that, the plan for them, and UCLA is on board with this too, for them not to stay there for any long period of time is not going to give the NCAA a chance to, start making rule changes based on what he's doing, because they're not going to be in college long enough to affect the game that way.
But what about the shoe deal?
But once again,
that he could be possibly academically ineligible.
Well, here's the deal. Just because he's signed to a situation, and I don't even think he signed it. It's just a family business. I don't think Lavar has basically sat down with his kids and made them sign a contract with Big Baller Brand. They just happen to be part of the family, and unless the NCAA looks at that and say, we're gonna have to change this rule because now every family coming into this game is gonna do that. Every family is gonna have a brand, so now we have to change the rules to make sure that a family can't own anything. Come on, man. I don't think they're going to do that just for the Ball family. And just because he's associated or aligned with a brand that happens to be his family's name, I don't think at this point that they're going to, well, I'll put it this way. Just because he's associated with the brand that has his family's name doesn't mean he can't wear Adidas, because UCLA is an Adidas school. Say, look, you do all you want to with the Ball brand, that's fine. But while you're here, while you're in Westwood, while you're practicing with this team, this, that, and the other, this is the brand we're signed to. This is what you're going to wear. Now you took Michael Jordan's kid had a situation down in Florida. When he went there, that they were, I think they were an Adidas school, and in their recruitment of him, in order to get him, Mike's like, no, he's wearing, he's wearing my brand. And basically what happened was they became a Nike school because of that. But, I think that was Florida International. I'm not sure what school it was. I can't remember what that was school. I think it was Florida International. That's fine. But we're talking UCLA that already has a deal with Adidas that's across the board, not just in basketball. It's across the board. And UCLA is a major Division I school. They're not going to change up their contractual situation with a brand like Adidas for a kid that's going to be there for a year, that's one and done. So, you know, yeah, we signed you, but you're going to have to comply to our thing. We're not going to, it's not going to happen the other way around. So I don't see that being an issue with the Ball family, especially when we're only talking about one particular player. You know, if all of a sudden the big baller brand, you know, blows up, starts to become popular, you know, and, you know, but see, that's what I'm about to say, it blows up and kids start wearing the brand, that's fine, but no kid with the NCAA scholarship can even sign to a brand. So it's not like it's going to have any impact on anybody else but the Ball kids who happen to come in and play for UCLA. So I don't see, even from a business standpoint, you know, where that's going to become an issue. Once again, with kids that are going to be there only for 1 year.
Think big, think tall, think tall boy.
Tall boy.